Well, hey everybody, welcome to another edition of OpenLab. I'm here with Andrea today. Hey Andrea, thanks for joining me.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Glad you could help out here.
Yeah, always.
Right off the bat though, it's kind of odd. We normally don't do this, but right off the bat, we do have something to say about InventoryLab. We're having a little bit of an issue, so let's I love that thing. I don't use it enough.
Me too. But this issue that's coming up, it's just like it's like a roundhouse kick to the face. Just came out of nowhere, just like out of right out of Roadhouse.
Just like Roadhouse, exactly.
Just like Roadhouse, yeah.
That's how we felt when we found this out. But so what happens is you're unable to search for products in inventory or search for products while listing. So that can cause a little bit of a problem. But there is a fix, right? All you have to do is...
there is a fix, yeah. If you select the Amazon catalog while you are listing and not do the Amazon plus unlisted, you should be able to pull up the items that you're trying to list.
Okay, yeah. So just quick and easy fix.
How the wireframe works and everything. So.
Oh, okay. So yeah, until we get it fixed, and you should have gotten an email telling you the same thing. That's what this is. Basically, it's the email. So our devs are working hard on this to try to get it done. So yeah, until then, just do that quick and easy fix and we'll be set. So today also got a little special swag intro. Normally I just do some stupid presentation about swag where I look like an idiot, but today we actually have a professional looking video that Andrea did. So let's get that going here.
What it's like to get an InventoryLab swag box.
It's very catchy. I like it.
I love that video. I enjoyed making it. It was fun. I love TikTok.
Yeah.
So. We are on TikTok now, in case you want to know, at InventoryLab. So that's our only video right now. But keep, follow us for more tips, tricks, and any sort of footage we come up with.
There we go. Yeah, you're the master at that. So very nice. Also, we're getting some comments here. Make sure put a comment in there if you want to win some swag. That's kind of what the swag box looks like. And also, if you have any questions about accounting, bookkeeping, how it relates to e-commerce, how it relates to InventoryLab, that sort of thing, because we have our special guest today, Cyndi Thomason from Bookskeep. So we'll bring Cyndi on so we can get started. Hey, Cyndi.
Hey, guys. So glad to be with you. It's going good.
Glad you can make it.
Yeah, me too.
So we've done some webinars together in the past. It's been a while, but I think this is your first appearance on OpenLab, right?
Yeah, it is. I think the last time we were doing things around taxes, so back before tax season. So yeah, this is the first time in this format, though. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So you've got a long history. I mean, you've done a lot of things. Yeah. I mean, you're a mastery level certified profit first professional. You're the president of Bookskeep, also the founder. You've also been speaking at, all kinds of events, ASD, Market Week. You've been to SellerCon, ProfitCon. You also contribute to our blog, which we appreciate, and as well as other blogs.
We love your blog posts. We love them. I shared them for Prime Day. Actually, I was like, make sure you get all your accounting stuff in order.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But for folks that are maybe seeing you for the first time, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and also Bookskeep?
Sure. Thank you. Well, I gosh, we've been doing this partnership for quite a while, I think, with the blog. I started Bookskeep in 2014, and in 2015 decided that we wanted to specialize in e-commerce. I became active with Profit First Professionals, and Mike Michalowicz is the guy that wrote that book. And he was my business coach, and he was advising me that you really need to pick a niche, because you can better understand your clients' needs if you work with more clients. Up until that point, I had a bicycle shop and a digital marketing agency. I was like a traditional local bookkeeping firm, and I had a lot of different clients, and that was really interesting, but I never got very deep with any of them. So it was really cool to get to start working with e-commerce clients and really understand what their issues were. And the reason I chose e-commerce was because the e-commerce clients that I had were kind of like me. They wanted to work remotely. They wanted to be flexible. They were kind of looking for something different than that 9 to 5, have to go to an office type of job. So it was a really good match, because they valued flexibility. They were comfortable with technology, and those were things that were really important to me in my business. So we haven't looked back. We've had several really good years, and have really enjoyed working with people that are kind of at the forefront. You know, I laugh sometimes and say it's like the Wild West, because there's just always some new frontier you're discovering in e-commerce. And right now it's these crazy exits and, you know, the whole aggregator thing going on. So it's never a dull moment. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I live in Northwest Arkansas. I have a daughter that's college age, and my husband is in the business with me. And we have 22 on our team now, and we love having a remote workforce that's flexible and serving our clients. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
we even have
cool.
David here. He says he's been listening to the audiobook.
Oh, thanks, David. So, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
My Southern accent, you get to hear a lot of that.
Oh, you narrated. I haven't listened to the audiobook. I've got the regular copy, but nice.
Yeah, I narrated.
That's great.
It was a lot of fun actually recording it. I had never done anything like that, and I can tell you, I've always liked to talk, but after being in a studio for 3.5 days, I was about done talking.
Huh. All right. Oops, my mouse stopped. All right, Andrea.
Yeah. So Cyndi, like, although some people, it may seem like a little early, should e-commerce sellers be preparing for Q4 now? And what are some of the things they should be doing to prepare for Q4?
Yeah, I just wrote a blog post about this actually, because it's the perfect time to be getting ready. And I suspect most of your sellers probably are starting to get ready. I'm seeing a lot of comments in the forums that I'm in about inventory restrictions, and that there's going to be some tighter limits on what you can send in. So, you know, that can be kind of a good and a bad thing. One of the things that I've seen people struggle with over the years is this concept that everything that you send in is going to sell. And so you need to buy as much as possible and go into debt if you have to, because you want to have it there and you want to be able to sell it. And I think things have changed a little bit since then, especially since you can't just send everything in. So you've got to factor in how much inventory you can send in and where you really want to spend your cash. So on one hand, the thing that you would think might limit people is how much cash they have available. Really didn't limit them, because they went into debt and they, you know, borrowed a lot of money to buy inventory that maybe didn't sell through. And then after the new year, they're left with the debt and what to do. So the inventory limits may serve to curb a little bit of that. The way to manage that and to really be thinking about it is make sure that you're going to spend your cash and use your inventory space for things that are actually going to provide a return, a high enough return on your investment that you can cover all your costs, including your advertising cost. We spend a lot of time talking about the the gross margin and how you need to have gross margin of 30%. That's the first analysis you need to do. If you're going to spend your cash, are you actually going to get at least 30% back? Then the second analysis you need to think about is how much is advertising going to cost you? Because if you then turn around and spend 22% advertising your product, then you're going to be left with such a small amount of money that you don't even pay yourself, or you don't pay for the operating expenses in your business.
Right.
So this is the time to get really serious about profitability and understand, if you're going to put your cash out there, you're going to be limited to how you spend your cash because of your inventory limits. So be sure that you're spending your cash on things that are going to bring you the highest return. Because if you're compromising on that, you're really just shooting yourself in the foot. And the inventory limits are going to serve to kind of refocus the attention on making sure what you buy is profitable. So right now is the time to really look at what you have, how profitable it is. Are you going to attain at least a 30% margin, and then also have enough margin to cover your advertising? And really set some guidelines around what you're going to source and buy, so that whatever you spend your money on is likely to pay that level of return. It's not the time to skirt around the edges of the margins.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be solid in them.
Gotcha. Oh, so speaking of that, what are some of the most common mistakes you see people make when it comes to, managing their finances?
Not managing their finances.
Not paying attention to exactly what you just told us, right?
Yeah. And, part of it is there's a mindset that we'll take account for the tax guy, and we'll do that after Q4. And the reality is, if you're just going to look at your numbers one time a year, you're really not operating a business. This is more like a hobby. You can afford to lose that kind of money. So, that's not how you want to operate your business. You want to operate your business from the standpoint of putting in systems, watching what's working, tweaking things so that you can repeat it over and over again. Like I said, I decided to work in the e-commerce niche. It was because I knew that I could develop a chart of accounts that would serve 90% of the people. And I adjust it as need be, but it's about repeatable processes. So if you're doing this for a business, then you really want to get serious about the numbers. It's like the numbers are really they're the language of business. So pay attention to your numbers, understand what gross margin is, understand what the impact of your advertising is. When people don't pay attention to those things, one thing I hear a lot of people say is, well, I'm not making that kind of margin. I'm only making 10%, but I'm going to make it up on volume. Well, you're not Walmart. I'm sorry. Yeah. That sounds good, but I've yet to see it work. So that's another area. People just need to focus on understanding their numbers and tweaking their systems to achieve those numbers, dialing in their advertising, dialing in their sourcing, and realize that that those numbers, those benchmarks about gross margin and advertising percentages, et cetera, they do apply to them, and that they really need to strive to achieve them.
Sure. Yeah. With all those, those Amazon fees, that can, you don't really think about that when you are trying to do research on what you want to list. With that being said, what are some of the biggest misconceptions people have when they start an e-commerce business when it pertains to managing their money?
Well, early on, I think everybody just thought there was no way to lose money. And I'll be honest, when I first started working in the niche and I was trying to decide, is this the area I want to work in? Everybody's books that I did came up looking pretty bleak. And I would get their books. They would not have books typically, and I'd get them a set of books, and I would look at the numbers, and I'm like, this is not a business. This business is dead, and I would have to tell them, you don't really have a business here. You've got to change something up. That was at the time when supposedly you couldn't lose money on Amazon. So I can tell you that there was a time where that was being said, and I do know people that did lose money. So I think as people are getting started, the idea that you have to go in debt to buy your inventory, or that the money that you've saved for inventory is that you can go and spend all of that money and it'll come back to you quick enough to replenish. I think that's a misconception. What I see with my clients is there's just a lag in getting the product. You've spent the money, then you've got to get the product prepped, get it to Amazon. That takes time. It takes time to get in their warehouse. It takes time for it to sell. And then there's the time lag of when you actually get the money. And so while that's fairly quick with like RA sellers, when they invest and when they get the return, while it's closer than it is with like a private label seller who it takes 2 months on a boat, they have a different set of issues, but it's still a time lag. And for you to have that money to then turn around and reinvest in more product, you just need to understand that if you put all of your starting capital into product initially, it's going to take time for that to come back to you, and you're going to be operating on a shoestring until it does. So I recommend for my clients to do it, to hold back some of that starting money. If you've cashed out your 401k or been putting money back in a savings account, don't just put it all into inventory at the beginning. Realize that cash flow, that's we use that word a lot, but I don't think we always understand the actual flow part of it, that takes time for it to happen, and to get a true understanding of how money has to go out and how you need to have some to operate on. So those are a couple things that come to mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I understand that you just got back from was it a month-long sabbatical?
Yeah, I was gone for 5 weeks, and
5 weeks.
Yeah, I had 2 days of meetings at the beginning of that, but we took a really nice vacation.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you started doing that and how it helps you in your business?
Yeah,
because I don't think they realize that, maybe taking a break is a good idea.
It's the best idea.
Yeah.
I love my business, but it's just real easy to get burnt out in it. It's like you can just devote all your attention to it. Even when you say, well, I'm going to shut down and I'm going to take the night off, you're sitting there in front of the TV still thinking about your business, So the thing that I've been doing now for 4 years is called a clockwork vacation. It was based on coaching from Mike Michalowicz, and he was my business coach at the time. He was writing the book Clockwork. So basically his advice to us, me and my husband who owned the business, was to plan for a time we can take 4 weeks off, and to pick that date and put a stake in the sand, mark it out on the calendar, and then figure out what you have to do in your business to be able for it to run without you. And when you do that, you start to realize all the things that you do and how, if you got hit by a bus or you got sick, your business really suffers. So you want to start training other people to have those skills and capabilities so that the business could continue on if you're not in the business. And it makes your business more valuable. I've been reading this book, came out a couple of weeks ago, called Exit Rich. And it's about one of the things that they talk about in the book is that repeatable systems that are when someone is going to buy a business, they look for repeatable systems so that they realize they're not just buying an owner's expertise.
Oh no, did we lose Cyndi?
Oh yeah, we might have.
I'm
There we are.
Oh, okay, we're back.
All right.
We're back.
Not sure what happened. You guys went away on my screen.
How do we? Oh, well, we're live, so anything can happen. You know, like my wife just got back with the dog, so I'm expecting him to run over and jump up on me. So in case I disappear, that's what happened. So,
A lot of fluff.
anyway.
Yeah. So that's what it's about. And the neat thing is, when we leave, we disconnect our phones, we disconnect email. All of that's handled by our team, and so we learn where there are problems. We learn where we need to work to strengthen the business, and so and it really gives you a chance to decompress. And so when you come back, you're fresh and you see things with fresh eyes that maybe you wouldn't have noticed before. The thing that I didn't expect is that you learn from your team just how much confidence they gain in being able to handle things, and they feel really good about themselves. And that was unexpected to me the first time, and now it's a common thing. But I'm just always impressed with what they handle while we're gone and how good they feel about it.
Oh, that's awesome. Sounds like you got a good team.
I do. I have a best.
Sounds like you have an awesome team.
Yeah, I do. For sure.
So could you tell us about how you got involved with Profit First and what led you to writing your book about it?
Sure. When I decided I wanted to do a bookkeeping business, I wanted to do that because my daughter was at home, and I was homeschooling her, and I needed something to kind of keep me engaged professionally. I decided that I wanted to do bookkeeping. I was doing bookkeeping for a friend, and they went on to QuickBooks Online. It was back when QuickBooks Online was brand new. And I started to realize that I could do bookkeeping from anywhere, and still, be at home with my daughter or whatever. So that's why I started the business. When I decided to do that, QuickBooks was really starting to move from the desktop platform onto the online platform. And they had the very first conference in San Jose is into its, what they call it, QuickBooks Connect. And I went to that conference. I'm like, I'm going to learn all about this stuff. And it was 3 days, and I was in a session after lunch, and I was getting so sleepy. And I was like, oh, this is so boring. Where's the accounting stuff? It was so boring. And I was having a hard time staying awake. But the room next door, they would laugh really loud. And I'm like, they're having a really good time. So I got up and I moved and I went to the room next door, and it was Mike McAllowitz. And he had just written Profit First. And at the end of his presentation, which he's silly and fun, and he had the audience really engaged. And at the end, he invited everybody to come up and to take a copy of his book. And I read the book on the way home on the plane, and it made several light bulbs come on for me. One is I realized that the clients I had at the time weren't all that profitable. And I'm like, I'm going to lose these clients if they don't figure out how to make money, And then I thought also, I want to put this into effect into my business. So I did. I started trying to do it in my business. And then I reached out to Mike and said, I'm interested in this. And they were just forming Profit First Professionals. I'm number 9, I think, the 9th person to join when they were forming it. But I just saw the value of it. I saw how simple it was, and how it would just give people, my clients, a window into their business without a whole lot of complicated accounting. They could look at their bank accounts and know how they were doing. And so, gosh, it's been since 2014, and it's been a great experience. Since then, Mike had just published the book the first time, and the second time he was redoing the book. The Penguin House picked it up and wanted to make it available through their publishing house. And he was sending out notes to us saying, okay, I'm revising anything we should include. And I kept saying, you need to cover inventory. People really have to struggle with inventory and how to do it. And I did this like 4 times, and he would still say, I need more ideas. And he never picked up on it. And so finally I said, are you going to do inventory or not? And he's like, no, I'm not, because Penguin says it's just not a broad enough topic. I'm like, oh, okay. And he said, why don't you? And I'm like, why don't I what? And he's like, why don't you write a book about profit first for people that sell on Amazon or e-commerce that have those issues? He said, because it definitely would apply to them. And so that's how it got started. And there's several derivative books out there now for profit first, but I was the first one that said, yeah, let's do this. And because there's enough of a unique aspect to selling online and having inventory that I felt like people needed some special treatment there.
Speaking of that, do you think, because we get asked, at InventoryLab in support, I'm looking for a bookkeeper. I mean, who's the best, or a CPA or an accountant, and like you mentioned, e-commerce it really is a niche area. And so do you find that you're getting questions maybe from other bookkeepers or accountants that want to learn more, or when somebody's looking for an accountant or bookkeeper, that they really should have somebody that understands e-commerce versus just the run of the mill?
Yeah, I get that a lot. In fact, Profit First is made up of about 600 members in the U.S. right now, and probably about 1,000 worldwide. But in fact, I got an email today from someone who said, I'm working with an e-commerce client. I'm helping them with cash flow, but they need help with their books, and they need somebody that specializes in it. So it is different. Understanding how to get into the platforms and gather the data that you need, all of that takes, it just takes, learning how to do it and learning how to get good at it and how to be efficient at it and how to understand where to get the data and what it means and staying current with that. I mean, as you know, Amazon's changing things all the time. And, the report you got last month might not be the same report next month. So one example, I had a client that came to us from another Profit First accountant, and I know this person, and she's very sharp and she's very good. But we started working with this, but she doesn't specialize in e-commerce. And so we were working with this person, and we kept realizing we were missing a piece of the data. We're like, you're not giving us access to everything we need in Amazon. And finally, we'd worked with the person probably 9 months. And finally, they're like, okay, I trust you. I'll give you the access that you need. When we went in there, we realized that on their banking page, there was a yellow warning sign. And we knew that meant something that was of concern. So we went to it. This business owner had for years. This issue went back 3 years, had for years seen that warning sign and never clicked into it. When we clicked into it, what we found was they had never put in their bank account for their Amazon Pay. And all of the people who purchased using Amazon Pay, that money had just been collecting and sitting at Amazon to the tune of over $100,000.
Wow.
And so we don't get to promise that for everybody, but for, it was really a happy day to call the client and say, if you'll go put your bank information in there, you're going to get a pretty nice check. And,
Winning the lottery.
Yeah. So when she was telling me this story, I was really intrigued by it. And it was in one of our team meetings, and somebody else spoke up and said, yeah, I had that happen too. And it turned out that this person had only lost 6 months. They just had not put their bank account in for this particular feature in an Amazon. And the money that she got, she when we called and talked to her, it wasn't as huge amount of money. I think it was like 20-some thousand, but still nice.
Still, yeah.
Yeah. She broke down in tears when we were talking to her.
Oh.
She said, my husband just lost his job. And this is going to give us so much comfort during this time, So, it feels really good to be able to help people because when you do specialize, you really can start to learn those kinds of things that really do benefit the client that other people just they're not in there enough to know the nuances.
Nice.
Oh, thanks, Montgomery. Thank you for buying the book.
So you want to answer a few questions from the viewers?
Yeah, I'll be happy to.
Up for that? You want to pick one, Andrea? I'll let you kind of run the show there.
Sure. Let's see. We had a really good one. Let's look at
It is a good
one.
I really do enjoy that book. I've read through it myself just to get an idea, and it's you make it very easy to understand.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So it looks like Baldy's asking, is Bookskeep the same as other book software?
I'm not quite sure I follow the question. Bookskeep is the name of our accounting firm. And
Sure.
Then it might be confusing because there is QuickBooks. So QuickBooks is an accounting platform, and we use that in our practice. We also use Xero, spelled with an X, Xero, I think. Those are the two accounting platforms that we use. So that can be confusing. People kind of confuse QuickBooks and Bookskeep, but we're the service firm. We use the tool QuickBooks and we use the tool Xero to help our clients keep up with their financials. Baldy, did that help?
Yeah, if that wasn't clear, Baldy, go ahead and put in another comment. We can clarify. But it's not book software, but it is bookkeeping. It kind of shows you the process, and you do have kind of a, what is it called? The Profit First Jumpstart program too, right? Right.
That is a service where we help our clients get Profit First started in their business. It's if you've read the book and you've tried to work through it and numbers just aren't your thing and you're stuck, then we can help you get started by going through the processes that I outline in the book to help you get your profit allocation percentages dialed in. The nuance to actually starting Profit First is a lot of times there's not like an abundance of cash. So it's not like you can dive off of a cliff and just do it all immediately because cash may be short. And so what we try to prescribe for people is more like a walk in from the beach type of entry, where we ease you into it, as opposed to the end result being that if you just dive in and you start moving money around and you are short on cash, what's going to happen is you may put money in an inventory account, but then you have a bill come in and you have to pay for your warehouse, and you've already moved the money, and then you're just moving money back and forth. And so we don't want people to experience that. We want them to kind of ease into it. And we outline that in our quick start guide, how to just kind of ease into it. But if somebody is uncomfortable with that and they want help getting started, then this Jumpstart program is how we coach you through. We do all the heavy lifting as far as the analytical work, and then design a program specifically for our clients.
Sure. So we do have a question from David here. All I have is InventoryLab for bookkeeping. Should I sign up for QuickBooks or connect my business to bank accounts to them? He's a first-year seller and he hasn't talked to a CPA yet.
Okay. I don't want to turn this into a commercial, but I will you're on my website, so I would like to point this out. We have a do-it-yourself option called Smart Start, and it's listed up under that do-it-yourself piece there. I just want David and anyone else to be aware that this option is out there. You can use InventoryLab, and it's really a great place for you to start. At some point, though, you're going to want to get a full accounting system. And when you get ready to do that, unless you've had an extremely successful year, you may not be ready to hire a bookkeeper. You may just need to do it yourself, but just have a little bit more oomph to your finances. InventoryLab will do a great job giving you a P&L. They'll do a great job pulling in your data from Amazon and keeping up with your inventory. But if you start to have products on other platforms, maybe Walmart or Shopify, when you start branching out and things get a little more complicated, then you're going to want a true accounting system. So I think you're at a good place with inventory right now, David, but I would consider your next step would be to move into a product like QuickBooks or Xero. Most CPAs in the U.S. are more comfortable with the QuickBooks platform, but both do a really good job. The piece of the QuickBooks software that would be in addition to what you're getting from a InventoryLab is a balance sheet. So if your business bank accounts, when you connect them to an accounting software like QuickBooks Online, what you'll be able to do is make sure that every time you reconcile your bank statement, everything is in your accounting system. And that reconciliation piece is really important when you start to grow so that you've not missed anything. As I see clients that are using InventoryLab and we first start working with them, if they don't have a QuickBooks product or a Xero product, what I find is that they think they've got everything when in fact they've missed something. And when we start running reconciling the bank accounts, that's when we learn, oh, you failed to put this piece of this activity in your account. So I do think it's a really good next step for you, but if you're just getting started, I would do my best to keep up with everything on InventoryLab until you feel like you can, afford the QuickBooks product and get some kind of training to make sure you're using it properly. The one we have is called Smart Start, and I developed Smart Start because there's a lot of online programs where you can go and just watch a YouTube video or watch somebody do it online. Our program is a little bit more hand-holding. You work with somebody for three different sessions, one-on-one, where we actually work on your books and teach you what to do. And what we found is that a lot of times our clients come to us and they've done their own setup and they've done a pretty good job of it, but they really haven't understood what they've done. And as a result, they don't understand the numbers that they're looking at. And so we want, by the time you've done our program, what we want is for you to know what reports to print and what they're telling you. And that's kind of you start with, all right, this is how you set it up, but you end with, these are your reports and this is what they mean.
That sounds like an awesome program. It really does. Smart Start.
Yeah.
That sounds so cool.
I like the fact that it's hand holding, basically walks you right through all you need, because
super
a lot of people aren't versed in the accounting and, keeping track of their books and all that. And that just adds more pressure and stress to the, what's already can be a stressful situation. Should I venture out? Should I do this on my own?
Yeah. And, if if you go through a process of getting it set up, but still don't understand what the numbers are telling you, it's what value have you really gotten? And so that's our reason for creating this product. Is it's directly teaching somebody on their own situation, their bank accounts, their Amazon account, etc. But at the end of the day, they've seen how all those numbers get built up into a profit and loss and a balance sheet at the end of the day, so that they know where that number, how it got there and what it means. Thank you, David, appreciate that.
All right, let's see.
Yeah. Do we have one more? So I see that you can schedule an appointment at the top. Is there, besides the Smart Start program, is there any sort of like trial, or how does Bookskeep, is there like a subscription that goes along with Bookskeep, or how does your price, like what type of tiers do you have?
Well, we don't really have tiers. We do have a minimum, and for our we're very high touch, so we're very involved with our clients, and so what we do is we quote the client based on their activity level. So somebody like David that was just getting started, we would have a minimum, and it probably wouldn't be cost effective for him to use us right now, because the minimum for our bookkeeping service is $400. But beyond that, what we do is we look at the activity that our clients have, their sales activity, their transactions they're running through credit cards and bank accounts. All of those are things that we have to touch. There's reconciliations for each of those accounts that we have to do. And so based on that activity level, we do a custom price for each client. So the minimum's $400. We have clients that are paying in excess of $3,000 right now. So they're very, very large, but it really is dependent on the activity that a client has in their situation. We haven't really figured out how to do a tiered pricing that we felt like was fair to everybody, because every one of our clients has a different, some are just on Amazon, some are just on Shopify, some have 10 or 12 platforms.
Sure.
So we just look at the activity and quote from there.
Okay. Looks like we just had another good question from Nate Ricks. How many platforms do you folks handle with Bookskeep besides Amazon and Shopify?
So we're talking sales platforms, you think? Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, Amazon, I mean, you name it, somebody's figured out that there can sell something there. I mean, we got people on Faire, Etsy, Walmart. I don't know the number, but I know that it's many, probably.
Okay.
I don't know, probably in the 25, 30 range. And that doesn't scare us if somebody's on a different platform. We just need, I'm assuming the seller would be familiar with how that works and would help guide us as to what reports we can pull out of there and how to get us access if it's something we haven't encountered. But we've got about 170 clients, and they're on a wide variety of platforms.
Okay, sure. Wow, that's crazy. That's so cool.
Yeah, there's new ones every day, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are.
Oh, Josh has a good one. Oops, my mouse just stopped working, of course. There we go. So Josh, I'm still a first-year Amazon business. I am starting as a side project. I'm also financial savvy, hold a CMA, but do not have the time for bookkeeping. How might Bookskeep help someone like me?
We would be tickled to help you, Josh. We basically try to take it off your plate. We like to have access to your, we don't need access to go in and actually touch your bank accounts, but we like to have the view access to see the activity and to see the to see those statements, to be able to reconcile. We want access in Amazon to be able to pull inventory reports and to pull settlement reports, those kinds of things. So we can get the access we need to go in and do the accounting for our clients, so we don't have to bother them. And the way we work is we go in a couple of times a week and look at the activity that's coming into your accounting system by through the bank feeds. So we would hook up your bank accounts and your credit card accounts into QuickBooks or to Xero. We would go in and look at the activity a couple of times a week and code it to the proper place. If we don't know what to do with it, we put it into an Ask account, and then we send it to our clients. It depends on what they want. Some of them want one, they want to, we just export it into Excel, and some of them want that every week. Some of them just send it to me at the end of the month and I'll go through it. As we learn our clients, what they do, how they work, that ABC is always an inventory vendor, that kind of thing. That Ask account helps us learn our clients and their spending habits. And then we don't have to do that as much, but we try to take it totally off of our clients' plate, so that they have to answer a few questions about things we don't know. We go through the route of Googling. A lot of times we know because we've seen things in another account. But when we don't know, we put it into the Ask account, and that's the main involvement. And then by the 15th of every month, we send out financial statements. And that's that's our metric for our team, is getting financials out by the 15th. And it's our number one job, and we're in it right now. Right now is month-end close and getting everything buttoned down so we can get clients their financial statements by the 15th. Our belief is that you need the data more than one time a year, that you need the data to, and as a CMA, you know this, you want that data to be able to make decisions by. And if we're, it's always in arrears because it's what happened the month before. And if we're 6 or 8 weeks then getting it out to our clients, then what value does that really have? So our hard deadline is to have it out by the 15th, unless the clients held us up, getting some kind of important piece of information back to us. So that's how we work, Josh. I would love to chat with you if you think that's a good fit for you.
Yeah, and let me get your contact information up again so we can have that. So yeah, if you just go to Bookskeep, is that the best way to get a hold of you, Cyndi?
Yeah, there, or you can email me. My name doesn't have an A on it, so if you email me, it's Cyndi, Cyndi @bookskeep.com, and just let me know you were on our call today, and I'll be happy to respond, or get Bree to respond. Bree is our business development person, and so she probably will be the one to reach out to you.
That was Cyndi @bookskeep.com.
That's right.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, do you want to, Cyndi has been generous enough to give us a few copies of her book to give out. So, oh, here's a nice comment from Eric.
Oh, hi, Eric. So glad to see you here. Thank you. I wish Eric could talk back to us. It was a lot of fun. I did a program for him. It was really fun being on call with him.
Oh, nice. So yeah, so you want to get a comment in there or a question, and we can get you entered into the giveaway here. I know Cyndi's got to head out here shortly, so we should give those away here fairly soon. And
I'll need to know how I can mail them to people too. So
yeah, what we'll do is if you win one of the swag bags or the gift cards, just email support@inventorylab.com with your address if it's a swag bag or one of Cyndi's books, and then we can forward that address to her, and she can get that sent out to you. And so yeah, just support@inventorylab.com.
Okay, and then you guys will get it to me. Is that right?
Yeah, then we'll just
we'll forward it to you.
Perfect.
Yeah. So do you want to do the honors, Andrea, or?
Sure. So let's give off, should we do 5 copies of of profit first for e-commerce? Do you think, Cynthia?
I've got
Cyndi?
5. I've got 5.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it. Okay. First
Oh,
winner is, let's see here. We've got Josh Schimpf. So Josh,
right.
just email us at support@inventorylab.com with your information where we can ship your copy of the book to.
Gonna love this
And
book.
then, I know. And then our second winner is Dan Godsey. Dan,
Congrats,
email
Dan.
us again. Yeah, good job, Dan. Support@inventorylab.com. Okay, next winner is Heaven Forever 4. So send us an email with your contact information. We'll get you a copy of Cyndi's book. 2 more winners. We have Kim Schellenberger Best. So congratulations, Kim. And then our last winner of the Profit First book by Cyndi is Miguel Matos. So
awesome.
There you go.
I look
yeah,
forward to
Miguel
mailing these out.
and
Yeah.
right,
Congrats,
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. So I don't know, Cyndi, if you want to stick around for the last 3 ones that we have, or if you got it. I know you got to go at like 4 o'clock soon.
Yeah,
so
I'm
it's
good
up
for a
to
few
you.
more minutes. I'd love to see
Okay.
how
Okay,
all the winners.
just making sure. Okay, so now we're moving on to our swag bags, which is at the beginning we showed a pretty cool video of what those usually have. And our swag bag winner number 2 is Montgomery Eugen. So Montgomery,
All right, Montgomery.
shoot us an email. Yeah, shoot us an email at support@inventorylab.com with your information. And we've got another swag bag to hand out, and that is going to David Prokoska. David Prokoska. So congratulations, everyone.
You're doing better with the names than I would.
I thought the same thing.
I think it's a Midwest thing. We get like so many different types of names here, you know. And then $50 Amazon gift card goes to Ryan Cassidy.
Hey, congrats, Ryan.
Congratulations, Ryan. So thank you guys all for joining us today. It's been super awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Cyndi, for taking the time to
Cyndi,
spread some of your
Bookskeep
wisdom here.
Yeah, and Bookskeep sounds so amazing because you tailor it to each, customer, to each, person that you have. So that's I think that's really amazing. And I think I can see how many people could get so many opportunities out of that.
Well, thank you. I mean, I went into it with the idea of creating systems, but the reality is it's constantly changing, and we've not met 2 e-commerce sellers that are just alike. So we've kind of filled in between the systems with people that know what they're doing and they care. And so we really do enjoy what we're doing because it gives us the flexibility to work like we want to. And I know that's important to most of our clients too. And we just love working with InventoryLab. You guys have been such great partners with us. And anytime I have a question, Jeff's always right there to answer me on email. And I always appreciate that.
Oh yeah, glad to do it. I appreciate you helping us as well. So
yeah, we love your blog posts. We really do. They're super. I think they get the most views, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me happy. Thanks. You write it, put it out there, and then you're like, I hope somebody liked it.
Oh, they do. They do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks again, Cyndi. Thanks, Andrea, for joining in. I'll have to have you back.
Absolutely.
That was a great Roadhouse reference too, by the way. The roundhouse kick. That was good.
That's what I immediately go to is the roundhouse kick for Roadhouse.
So, all right, everybody. Well, thanks again for joining us, and congrats to the winners. Remember, support@inventorylab.com, and we'll get that info to Cyndi, and also get you your swag bags and the gift card. And I guess we'll see you again in a couple of weeks. So that's it.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone.